She's saying we have to tell young people the truth. We have to say, you are messed up. I'm sorry you're messed up. And you're messed up because you actually were designed to be born into a stable, loving marriage where your biological mother and father would have loved you all the way through your childhood and would have fought and done everything they can to help you succeed and build a new branch of the family when you became an adult. That's what you were designed for. That's what that you have those needs. Those needs were not met. You were abandoned. And if you want to experience the love and the essence of home and the essence of belonging, then you're going to need to acknowledge that truth that you were in many ways, badly injured by your past, but that the only way forward is to, if you're acknowledging that truth, is to build those things. Like you're not going to find a perfect replacement any other way. Like you can't innovate your way out of this. You can't use technology. These things just will not work. There won't be a government policy that will come and save you. Like the best way to get over coming from a bad family is to build a better one. There's no other way. So what does this stir up for you? What are your any other thoughts on this part of the essay?
Yeah, I really love, articles like this because I think that she's just really well articulating so many things at once. Like, there's so many of what I see that is broken in our culture right now. Like, it's such a huge problem that it's really hard to even articulate when you try. And I feel like she's doing it in a really good way where, she's starting at the root and then going up into seeing all these things around us. Like, we're seeing people just stop, respecting themselves with the hookup culture and everything that she mentioned, and just, I have seen so many of these, like, symptoms and so many of the things that I just think are ridiculous. I'm like, "That stuff," like, the people that she's referencing in here, like, I'm that's kind of me. I'm like, "Oh, why can't you take family seriously? Why don't you appreciate meaningful relationship?" Like, that's kind of what I think sometimes when I see these women and, behaving this way. But I think that she's doing a good job of, like, "Here's why. Here's the answer to that."
Yes.
Because we've never seen a good example of that. We've growing up, we never saw a good example of a marriage. Like, that is that would totally mess you up, and that would totally turn you off to the idea that, like, earlier she mentioned, like, "Let's burn this, institution down," and, like, laugh as other people run into it. Like, that totally makes sense. Like, when you see these trad wives, like, traditional wives on social media and the way everyone's just, like, laughing at them, like, you have no idea what you just signed up for. It screwed my family up and all these other families that I was best friends with, their children. Like, I know so many examples of families that are now in ruins because of the institution of marriage. And, like, when that is your reality, that is the lens that you're going to view everything else in. And there is an absurd percentage of people that think exactly like that. And we're really a result of that generation. Like, I kind of wonder where it starts, like, if it started back with the world wars, because, like, all the men were depressed and traumatized from the wars, and they became
Yeah.
super absent, and then the birth control pill was introduced soon after that. So, like, we're clearly a result of whatever was started back then with the breakdown of the family, and, like, where did it start? I really wonder, but, um, clearly this is where we end up,
Yeah. Yeah.
so.
Yeah. There was kind of a cascade, I think, effect of you have industrialization completely redefining what fatherhood looks like. It wasn't leading a family in and through the home, like to do work, on the farm or in the trade, but all integrated with your family. Now it's disconnected from family. And then we sent men off to industrial wars and they endured, all kinds of trauma that happening just after the Great Depression, where things completely outside of their control, but because of a massive scale industrial economy, you could be building a farm and lose everything, no matter how hard you worked. And so I think this is deeply confusing. So I think you had many, many decades of just disruption. And then I think that coming out of the ruins of all of that was like all this technological freedom, which, like the birth control pill. And I think that Then there was sort of an innovation of like, okay, well, let's build a different kind of family. Um, and I think from there we innovated our way into oblivion. Like now we're in a situation where we're so far removed from the root structures of what the family was designed to do and be that people can't even remember. And one of the things she's saying in this that I really, was struck by was that the thing being told to women in particular was don't be needy, don't be dependent. But she says really well, um, our identity, our meaning, our purpose as humans was always our ties with and obligations to others. And now we are trying to
Mhm.
do it all alone, trying to figure out who we are alone. And we're nobody alone. No wonder we're confused. Like that is my favorite line, maybe the whole article so
Mhm.
far was just like she just put her finger on it. Like, um, that is a lie. We are lying to women by saying the answer out of this is independence. That is not the answer. But it is the actual answer for many of them is even more terrifying, which is the answer is dependence, is that you should actually make a covenant with a man, assume that he's going to and act as if and live as if he's going to be faithful to you for the rest of your life, make yourself completely dependent on him, become maximally vulnerable, maximize the cost of divorce on you as a woman, in order to build the kind of family that will actually stand the test of time. That is a terrifying solution to this problem, but I don't think there is another solution. And so this is profound catch 22, particularly for women in the way she's describing it here.